Good evening. I have a friend who is a really spiritual person, and I mean she's just a terrific person. And when we get in a discussion on Facebook, you know, where you've got all these varying opinions, she always has something nice to say to each person. And one time she said to about one of my comments, she said, "I hope you find what you are searching for." And I thought, searching for, I'm sure she doesn't mean, I hope you find the research you're searching for. And I thought, she must mean something like, it looks like I'm discontented. You know, when you're an atheist and you're throwing these comments out there that are really factual, but they might come because somebody put some Jesus thing that you just can't let sit there, and so you throw something factual. I think it looks like we're either mean or we're not happy, or a lot of times they think that we lack something. You know how we lack a God? Well, they think that they have something that we don't have. And I think that's kind of how we come across that we might be searching for something. And a lot of people don't realize that we've already gone through that phase of having a God and found it not to be true. And we're not searching for anything. We're really actually very content with how we are. But you have to think, how do you come off on Facebook? And you really do wonder sometimes. I have a regular Facebook page, and then I have a page that has mainly the religious things and the political things, and you know, all those funny creationist cartoons go up there, and sometimes things that are, you know, kind of, they're not mean, but I mean, you know, you put something factual like saying, okay, this isn't true because blah 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 blah, and you wonder what the totality of it really is. What do I look like to other people? And I don't really know, to tell you the truth, but I thought that might have been a hint that you know, maybe I don't come off as I really am. You know, we can't put our full personalities on there. And that I come off as negative, or also possibly that I don't allow them to have the religion that they believe. And in a way that's kind of true. You know, if they go off in some crazy cosmic something or another that is not true science and they call it science, yes, I'm going to say something about it, something like that. Now, so I guess sometimes it looks like I need spirituality. I think that's the conclusion they come to, that we need spirituality, that maybe we don't have. So, there was a video a while back about spirituality, and it was an excellent video. It was called My Spirituality as an Atheist, and it was by ahuman08. Or you could say 08, I guess, ahuman08. But human is spelled Hughman. It's a guy's last name, I'm assuming. And you have to watch it. You really should watch it, because we found it amazing. And a lot of us, after watching it, were like, yeah, well, we feel that way. We feel spiritual. We should bring spirituality back in our lives and not feel guilty about it as atheists, you know, talking about it. But it just didn't work. Somehow the words don't seem to fit. And you know, everybody uses spiritual right now. Creationists, young creationists will say, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. But then they follow the exact rules of the church. And I passed a church the other day, and the sign, it's like on two sides like this, and passing it you only see this side, and it said, we need more spiritual fruits and less religious nuts. And I know the grammar probably wasn't right, but that's what they had on their billboard, and or their church sign. And I thought, wow, this is that church that usually puts the burning in hell type things on their sign. Isn't that interesting? Now they're doing the spiritual thing. Well, on the way back, I got to see the other side of the sign, and all I remember right now is it had the word toast, and it referred to humans burning in hell. So they hadn't changed at all. They just, you know, had this slogan that meant absolutely nothing. It was just lip service about being spiritual. Now, some people do say that I'm spiritual, and I guess I am. I think most of us are. You know, especially if you're raised to appreciate the world. You know, we used to sit on our back porch in Detroit. Yeah, we were in Detroit, in the city, but we had a park a little ways away, and you could see it, and my parents would just sit there, and they'd say, oh, look at the sunset and the beautiful oranges against the black shadows of the trees, and, you know, we'd sit and appreciate it because, you know, there wasn't much to do back then. So you learn to have this deep appreciation. But as atheists, when we say, oh, I have a deep appreciation for nature, it's not the same as saying, oh, I have this spiritual feeling. You know, the deep appreciation just isn't deep enough. So it's kind of difficult for us sometimes, and there are a lot of words that I find that I try to avoid. Faith. Oh my gosh, I can't stand that word anymore, faith, because it's used as a blockade. My faith. This is my faith. You know, like we have no right to even say anything against it because it's my faith. You know, my personal faith. That one, sacred. Oh, it's sacred. Do you know that sacred, the word sacred is not even in the Bible? I will give you that holy is in the Bible, but sacred, unless I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think sacred is in the Bible, especially, you know, pertaining to babies. But that's always used, that they're sacred. So, what other words do we not use? Well, okay, let's go. Spiritual, soul, sacred, miracle, magical, faith, believe, reverence. I sometimes use reverence. I try not to, though. Heavens. Lordy, lordy. I mean, all these things I try to avoid and use other words. You just kind of take them out of your vocabulary. But it's hard to get a substitute that's the equivalent. And you know why we say we lack a God? Well, there are a lot of reasons we lack a God, because we do lack a God. But if you ever say, oh, I believe there isn't a God, then right away it's, oh, you believe, it's a religion. It's that Darwin guy, he's your leader, you know. And as Richard Dawkins says, the natural world is much more spectacular than the supernatural world.